And we live.
Live at 5. Appreciate everybody stopping in for the Black Kings podcast, episode 14. You got Lloyd and you got Shern.
Cut Smooth, EP Digital.
I'm sorry, we got to do that rolling this out today, but we got my man Grind Zoo in here that's going to fill in for our sports section.
Okay.
So let's get this back.
Behind the camera, man.
Behind the camera, behind the scenes. Y'all realize I got my Army hat on today because we're talking about the Army.
Fatigue.
You know, fatigue, showing my minimal support.
And before we get too deep into it, I just want to let everybody know that sometimes the Wi-Fi be lagging, and we can't see your comments. I'm trying to load up the feed right now. It's kind of slow, so sometimes it may get to you, sometimes we won't. But hope you appreciate it. On to the topic. What we got?
Cool. All right, the first topic we got today is should black people go to the Army? A look at history to the present. The reason why I started talking about this is if you look at all the wars of America, I'm going to just go down them real quick. And pretty much we'll start from all the wars of America, well, before it was even America at the time. Let's go through 1700s. You got Crispus Attucks. They had around more than 5,000 black soldiers around that time. That's 1700s. You got 1775 to 1783, which was the American Revolution. You got 1775, which is the Massachusetts Black Minutemen. And people know the Black Minutemen fought at Lexington and Concord. You got 1778 to 1781. You got the 1st Rhode Island Regiment, which they enlist African and Native American soldiers under white commanders. So, you can be a soldier, but you couldn't be a commander, of course.
Okay.
It's still 1700s. So we go to the 1800s. You got the War of 1812. Black soldiers served both integrated regiments as well as all black regiments. So, they had their own all black regimes, and then they had the mix. Of course, we still wasn't in charge.
True.
We still were just soldiers on the front line. You got your 1814, Free Black Men of Color. You got your black soldiers fought at the Battle of New Orleans. You got your 1861 to 1865, which is Civil War. And pretty much when we get to the Civil War, you got Union troops invading Confederate states. Thousands of black, slaves flocked to Union camps for the chance to fight for freedom, So basically, a lot of them wanted that chance to fight for freedom, but we know that it didn't come around that time either.
True.
So after the Civil War, remember that was between 1861 and 1865. You got, I think, 186,000 black soldiers. So that shows you from the 1700s all the way down to just the 1800s, you got 186,000 black soldiers. I think 38,000 was killed during the Civil War.
So what percentage of the black population was that? At a different time?
You can't really say because they wouldn't taken a real census of black people at that time.
True.
They only had the census of white people and people that immigrated during that time.
All right. See,
Hard.
If you could do an estimate, what?
If I had to, I really can't say because if you ask me, I say a lot of our people was already here. So I have the whole notion that we don't really know how many black people were on this land at that time, and I don't think that they would want to tell us. So I think that's one of the things that's also that we would really have to figure out and really just kind of, I think, being hidden.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go to the next one. You got your 1863, 54 Massachusetts Infantry, which was more than 1,000 blacks. Lincoln, they say he freed the black slaves armed that was willing to fight. We all know what happened with that. You still be willing to fight at the end, and at the end of the day, you still didn't get freed to a certain degree.
You say to a certain degree.
I say to a certain degree. They may have freed you from actually being enslaved, but from the part of actually having opportunity, you still was economically enslaved. So you may not have been regular, enslaved and in chains and made to do a certain thing of work from a certain person, but you couldn't go and just say, I'm gonna start my own business. You couldn't buy land.
You got a good 10% freedom. The other 90% gonna cost.
What you got? You 3/5 of a person. So
right.
That's what it comes down to. Then if you go back to it, let me go on my video. Stop there. If you go back to it, we go to 1866 to 1891. You got your Indian campaigns. This is where, after the Civil War, they said, hey, they got more of their people in. They start getting, let me see, they start having a large amount of immigrants come in. Because guess what? They had conquered everything. They got their freedom. You know, a lot of stuff was going on. So, you know, they was like, hey, they start to quell the uprisings of different Indians, the stuff that's going on, which I'm sure they were just taking over land.
Now, when you say Indians, you talking about Native Americans?
Not always. You know, I think that a lot of people say Indians, but I believe that it was a lot of black people in that stuff. Because if you go do your research all the way back, I think Andrew Jackson, you know, they sent a letter. They sent him down to Florida to say, hey, we about to go fight these Indians. He said, man, y'all sent me down here to fight Indians, but I've been seeing niggas ever since. So I think, you know, I think when it comes down, we got to really know who they fight. So we talking about the Seminoles.
Words?
I mean, I don't know if that's exact words, but I may embellish a little bit. But at the same time, you got the right message. It was the same thing, you know. It wouldn't know the Indians that we think of right now that I guess that he was referring to that was fighting.
All right, so if you're just tuning in right now, good to see you. Glad you're tuning in. I cannot see the comments. I'm not sure if anybody else is updated. But as soon as it's updated, we can get to you. But, you know, we're going to continue on. Just let you know that.
Cool. Is it freezing up?
Excuse me.
All right.
Bless you.
Even, I would say, even kind of with the same, around the same time, the Indian campaigns, they had all black regiments, cavalry, you know, fighting Indians. So it wasn't even no white folks at this time. They had the regiment, 9th, 10th Cavalry Regiment, 24th, 25th, 38th, 39th, 40th, and 41st infantry regiments deployed to fight Indians. I'm not saying it was no white people fighting them, but you know what I mean.
You know
it
what?
looked like they was sending the majority of black people.
You know what? I believe that is pretty true. There's another general that was getting her butt kicked. The troops were getting her ass kicked in the islands. I can't remember which one. I think it was like, might have been Puerto Rico or one of the other ones down there, Jamaica or something. Who knows? And he needed black soldiers in order to defeat the natives there. And he couldn't win until they got it.
But
so
you know
there's
what?
a lot of soldiers that are out there that was
black. I mean, I put it like this. I think of it in a whole different scenario. I think they needed black people because we knew the land. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of people think that we were slaves around this time, but I think we knew the land better than a lot of people. So that's why they needed us to go find this stuff.
It was about the sheer strength of the Negro. You got to think about it, like, because, you know, you're talking about slaves or what have you, like, a lot of them were bred just like oxes and animals to be
selective breeding
to be strong as shit.
Appreciate y'all. That's why we call it sports.
Exactly.
Not saying we weren't good already.
So when the turn comes, and they know that there's science behind that, and it comes to being in the army, you have a perfect soldier whenever you put that combination together. So they was able to just do more, charge up mountains, carrying a whole bunch of shit, like in the sheer determination of freedom behind you, it's like damn near an unstoppable force.
Yeah, I mean, we got to look back, and even at this time, we got to realize they was breaking treaties with all the, I'm not going to just say Indians, I'm going to say native aborigines of these lands.
Straight up annexation of the land.
Yeah, and you know, they
were like, hey, your shit.
We gonna take your main spot over here and we gonna relocate you to some mountains over here in Oklahoma or Nebraska.
What you gonna do about it? And that's the most disrespectful part.
I mean, it was kind of like, you know, that we gotta wonder, then we go to 1867 and then that's how you get your Buffalo Soldiers. You know, that's how they get that name. You know, they was very, what they say, they was very good with going out there and finding them, and you know, out there in the wilderness, you know, for us Indian and wars and stuff like that. A lot of people got their name by that way. So I feel like.
Are you sure?
I mean, in a way.
The legend that I heard about the Buffalo Soldiers was that they were pretty much protecting all of the cattle drives from Native American invasion. Really.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, no, you know what they did? All they did at the time, they used they used these same people to deprive them of the land and the people and drive buffalo wherever they was going away from the Indians. So guess who the Indians got to depend on at that point in time when it comes to goods and stuff? They got to depend on America. They got to depend on the people of the land.
So you saying
when they drive away
it is because of the Negro was the downfall of Native Americans?
No. I put it like this.
At the aid of the Negro?
I'm not saying we wasn't used.
Oh, man.
Just like everybody else. I would say we were used just like everybody else. And I don't think they were in a position to, well, you always in a position to say no. I would have been.
He said, slavery ain't no choice.
Hey, I ain't gonna say that. Yeah. But
Too many
you know,
positions say no.
I feel like a lot of times I do feel like I probably wouldn't have been the one that made it to the end. You know, I wouldn't have made it to my 30s. I would have been too. I feel like I would have been real extra rebellious. But you know, a lot of people probably say that when you ain't in that circumstance and ain't in that much chopping off your toes.
Yeah, right.
Actually, one good time.
What? yeah. But I even break down 1898. You had your Spanish-American Wars. We fought in that. Your 1898 10th Cavalry Regiment. We fought in that. Then we go down to the 1900s. Let's start out 1917 to 1918, World War One. You know, despite all the knowledge and freedom to serve and everything that was going on, we still felt like we had to serve during that time. You remember in this time, we still couldn't vote. So we still going out there and being on the front lines. I feel like a lot of
vote
that stuff.
everywhere. There's some places you can vote.
In 1917 and 1918, where could you vote?
Northern states, a lot of the northern states, some West Coast
From
states.
what year?
I don't know. It wasn't until nationally that they made it effective, and that's cross board. Every state was that 1965 or something.
Yeah, 1965.
But before there are some states where black people could vote.
I mean, you could vote, but what was the obstacles that they was putting in front of you before?
I mean,
you
some
could
states
go vote?
it was fair, like in Pennsylvania, what have you, it'd be fair. New York, what have you.
Fair
Maryland,
or
like you know,
it
like
with
black
no
people voted.
it with
wasn't
no restrictions.
No restrictions. Like those are northern, like the free states, what have
Right.
you. But a lot of southern states, you could vote. Like I think probably Tennessee or
I mean,
maybe
but
North Carolina.
a
one of the
a
states.
lot of places say you could go vote, but guess what? They
And
came
they-
up with the different tests and stuff.
Correct.
literacy
They
tests,
was
so
literally
you
trying
couldn't
to
vote.
stop. So yeah,
And they
there's
could-
some places. So again,
I mean, it was a
1965.
lot of places. I think it
all
was
that
more
stuff
than
started.
none. You think? I'll ask you this.
It's about
You-
50-50.
You think it was 50-50?
It's about 50-50.
In 1917 and 1918, you think it was 50-50?
It's like half the states wouldn't let you vote, half the states
They still trying to restrict people from voting now. You think
True, it's about 10%. I'll say about 10% now. It ain't all the way out. Maybe maybe even a 1/4%. Maybe it's half since
I
the
mean,
60s.
I wouldn't even say that on how they do the redistricting and stuff now. They're not doing it themselves. They literally put it into they literally put it into a machine now, and it tells you how to redraw the district lines in order to keep the districts for 10, 20 more years. So this ain't nothing genius that they coming up with. You know, it's one man came up with this one system, and guess what? They be using it.
It definitely wasn't one man. It was a group.
No, I'm saying
group,
it was
maybe
the
a
one
group of
man that
students,
put it forward.
Class, or maybe one person with an idea.
I mean, a person can put it in class all they want to, but that same people that put in class, I'm sure they didn't even mean it for that. They didn't mean it to be a tool of jury management.
Who knows?
Sure.
When it comes behind the system, that means there's a group of people behind it.
Right. I mean, I just seen the thing that came on him, and he was saying, they was asking him, did he feel directly responsible for the things that's going on now? And he said no, because he's helping his party win. He felt like that's what anybody would do. So I'm just going by the horse's mouth. I was like, I would think that, people would care about unfair advantages or doing stuff like that, but he like, hey, as long as it's helping us win.
If you're on the winning side and you winning and it ain't really cheating, it's like
It ain't really cheating.
right? It ain't really cheating. Then just continue forward. That's pretty much that's what America is teaching us.
Capitalism.
Yeah, we gonna get to that later. We can just hold on that thought. Yeah, go ahead and continue with the military,
all right,
bro.
cool. All right, we already did World War One. We get down to 1917 and the Harlem Hellfighters, first black U.S. combat unit shipped overseas during World War One. You got your 1941 to 1945 World War Two. A lot of blacks were still being treated as second-class citizens, even during this time. I'll give you an example. When they go over there, and when, let's say, United States was fighting Germany, and they had captured German soldiers, which are white, blonde hair, blue eye, white people. They were able to go in certain parts of the barracks that the black people of the United States Army still couldn't go. They could go eat in the white cafeterias and stuff, and the black soldiers that fought against them couldn't even go there.
I've heard stories about that.
Why would you? Ain't no way. I would have shot that whole tent up.
That's treason, though. That's treason. You can't do that.
They being treasonous by letting them go in there and eat, and I'm over here sitting over here in shit squalor. Like, nah, bro. First of all, just so people know my opinion, I do not nothing against the Army, but I don't believe that black people need to go to the Army because I believe that it's a fight that we have to fight here. It's so many other things for us to fight for here. It's no reason I feel like that we need to be going overseas, but I'll get to that in a second.
All right.
You got 1941, you got the 78 Tank Battalion, 1st Black Armored Unit. 1941, you got your Tuskegee Airmen. Everybody done seen the movie.
Mm-hmm. Is that World War II?
Yeah, that's World War II. 1945, you got other 60, 68, 88, Central Post Directory Battalion, All Black Women's Army Corps. Units served overseas in World War II. You got your Korean War, you got your Vietnam War, Persian Gulf War, which had black soldiers, which made up around that time.
Yeah, it's fully integrated.
Yeah,
in
22% made up 22% of the Army. So I thought that
we only make up less than 20% of the nation.
Yeah, I'm gonna get to that. Yeah, which is crazy. So then we come to now present. You got your global war on terror.
Mm-hmm.
Terror. Let me say that again. Terror. Air quotes.
We're gonna get to that too.
But in 2003, there were approximately 254,000 blacks serving in the Army. You see, it says in the general population, there's only 12.7% of black people between the ages of 18 and 55.
What was that number again?
12.7%.
What's the total number you said?
The total number that was serving in the Army in 2003 was 254,000.
254,000. It's not even a million people. Not even a million black people. All right.
But we got a lot that's younger than 18 and a lot that's over 55. So I guess that make up the rest.
All right.
What else? I say, and if this trend continues to the late 20th century, say the percentage of black Army people that's in the Army will be higher than the U.S. general population. So we'll have so many more people in the Army than we would in our general population in that age group. Not entirety, but in that age group. And I don't know how true it is, but
no, that's definitely true. I'll put that shit as true for sure. Nigga brings up a question. Why? Is that what you're trying to get at? Why would you join the Army?
We're gonna
get to it. What else? What other wars have there been after the war on terror? Was black people in on the war on drugs too?
Before we get to that, let's talk about the budget. Let's talk about the budget of the military. For one, our military in 2014, $581 billion we spent on defense.
Okay.
You know what the other countries spent?
Next to zilch.
Who would you say the next power is that's close to the United States?
China.
China. How much you think they spent?
Probably like 10% of what we spent.
Man, like 129 billion. Which is still a lot, but we still at 581 billion.
All right, so
who you think the next? Who you think is the next? You say Russia?
No, it had to be one of either the European nation or something.
Yeah. It would be, but they still don't spend the next. It'll be like Russia, like Russia, 70 billion.
70 billion? All right. Still, already know that. Like, we spend...
Well, Saudi Arabia is like 80 billion.
But you have no idea. That's nothing compared to the amount of taxes that the U.S. government receives.
Right. But I mean, that's just that. But 2016, 814 billion. 2017, 822.
All right.
2018, supposed to be projected, 869. And by 2019, $951 billion.
It's nothing, man. It's nothing.
Nothing.
See, so is that the reason? See, look at that budget, man. Who else got a budget like that? Wouldn't you want to get in on that budget too?
What I'm saying is that budget can be revitalized and pushed towards something else. Ain't no way we need to be spending that much on the Army when we got people here starving.
Okay, use the Army to feed people.
Who we defeating? That's the thing. We gonna get to that too. Like, who are we fighting?
Shooting and feeding. That's what
and I got some talking points here, so we get it too. So
all right.
One thing is we fought in all these wars, but we still wasn't free.
Okay, because you can say we're still not free today.
To a degree.
Debatable.
It's debatable.
Yeah, I work on percentages.
Everything's talking about economically free. I'm gonna say.
Even if you put it in all of it, let's say you put it in general, put all the percentages together. Let's say if like we just got voting rights in the 60s, so that's what 50% free there. We got 20%.
I mean, it can't be quantified like that because how many
civil.
people actually take advantage of their freeness?
Exactly.
You
So
know what
like,
I'm saying?
it's definitely not 100% free. So I'm thinking about 75%. What be about 70% free today? 2018, 70%.
I think it depends on class.
Oh, money.
It's
We're
always-
gonna get to there.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. The next one is. Oh, we already kind of talked about that. Other soldiers or other of the same race being white, being treated better, even in war situations. So we even still being treated as second class citizens. Why would you even accept that? Once I would hear that once, ain't no way I would be.
But I've seen a lot of successful black folk come from the Army, Navy, military period.
I
Like
agree.
it's definitely a good and for sure way to success, especially
Right.
if you're coming from less than middle class America.
You right. But then I'm gonna ask you this. So, what are you really fighting for? Are you fighting for freedom?
Fighting for a job, nigga.
I mean, basically. Because at the end of the day, you saying you going to the army. I know people be like, oh yeah, we easily become persuaded into like, oh, we fighting for our country, but what you really fighting for? You literally over there murdering people.
Some people like to kill people. Come to find out, matter of fact, we might need to do a show on
I
just
watch
analyzing
Westworld.
humans.
Westworld.
Right,
Let's go watch
Westworld.
Westworld.
Right? It shows you
Yeah.
like humans are disgusting beings. So
I mean, my point is you don't have a valiant. If you're not going to the army, you can't really say, hey, I'm fighting for my country. I don't think that that's an excuse. I mean, because who are you fighting? You fighting for bureaucrats. You fighting for meaningless wars. You fighting for unjust wars. Occupation of lands is not yours. Overthrowing governments that you have no, I would say, right to overthrow.
but
Or
how
intervene.
people put it, that is, you're on that team that is overthrowing governments. That is going out there like you're on the quote unquote winning team. Why would you complain about being on a winning team? Matter of fact, if you was on LeBron's team right now, even if you was sitting the bench, right? You had to do some little bit extra fouling up in there to get LeBron to go. Would you do it? Would you help for your team?
Not if I knew
Would you do it
that
for
not
Rodgers?
if I knew off the court he was out there raping little children. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't do it. I don't care.
You don't want that ring?
I'm
You
not
want
gonna
that ring?
condone. No.
You want that ring?
I'm not that
Yeah,
bad.
you do.
I promise you. I would sacrifice it all. I'm not. This is like.
Well, there's a whole slew of people that would think otherwise.
I know. But that's the problem.
That's a problem.
That's the
So
problem.
it's a morale breakdown. is
Yeah,
what we have
I'm
here
gonna
in
get to
America.
that.
All right,
I
all
mean,
right.
see, I'm gonna get to the word in a little bit. What I'm gonna say, but then the thing is, do the benefits outweigh the bad? Because what are the benefits of people actually going to the army? People use today. They say, hey, we get to travel, we get free school, we get free training.
Nah, man, the army got some
Benefits. I'll get to
I mean,
that. Was
the
my
Army got
last
some
one.
benefits.
Benefits. But I mean, what do you have to do for those benefits?
I mean, you just got to pop a few people off, man. It's nothing.
No.
It's nothing.
No.
You got to know that.
I could never, like, you know what I'm
And
saying?
I'm laughing at that. Like, I'm laughing at that.
And I
Like,
had a cousin because that went out there to the army, and the reason why I want to talk about this is because it comes back to mindset. It comes back to what your mindset is in the mindset that not only that being a soldier, but law enforcement puts you in. It puts you in the mindset of me first, everybody else second.
But it's part of the training. You touched
Yeah.
on the training. Like, isn't it their goal to like break you when you get in there? Drill sergeants are to drill you and break you so that you follow orders. Is not really the question. You just got to know that, hey, in the grand scheme of things, you're on the winning team. Do it
And that's why black people don't need to be in it, because we still not on the winning team.
Nah,
What winning team are we
sir,
on?
I see a whole whole slew of Army black folk
You see, but then you see a minimum of Army black folk. But what did everybody talk about now about veterans not getting their due? Veterans not getting their benefits.
And that's the confusing part. I see a whole lot of ones
You just
doing
see the
very
few.
good. No, I see a whole lot.
You don't know
doing
over
good,
100.
and a whole.
You don't know over
I
10.
I got a whole lot of family members, both doing very well.
Well,
both
you can.
not
Your
so
family
much.
members, it don't calculate over 20 people.
Okay, plus a whole bunch more that I've worked with.
and they successful army people. They've been in the army more than 15 years.
Especially in the oil field industry, vets kind of get a edge over the rest of people applying.
But that's now. I'm talking about. That's
then.
So
it seems
what age are they?
What
age are they?
They're like our age and younger, maybe 40 and younger. So there's something.
I'm not discounting the benefits that you get for it, but I don't feel like for me and my principles, I don't think it outweigh what I care. I feel like we got a lot more stuff to fight for here. What am I out there fighting for overseas for? What is it benefiting me?
What I found as a black man, you are never ever posed with a good versus bad situation. It's usually shit versus shit, and just to survive, you might have to take somebody else's life for an organization that don't care, give a damn about you, and that's just for your survival. Now, ain't that like effed up for effed up?
I put it like this. That's not the end all be all. My thing is the mindset that it puts you in when it comes to race versus country. What side do you be on then?
Tribe. It goes back to the tribe versus nation. Is it the tribe versus nation? Because usually a nation is a group of tribes. And, the breakdown within that, you don't have a nation if it ain't about that. So,
I'm not saying it's like no tribe, but I'm saying you come and let's just say everybody say, hey, they start want to put us back second class citizens. Not saying, we not now, but what side do you take if a whole revolt come on? They like, dang, we in the army, but we black.
And that's the thing. They're going to choose the army.
That's the thing that I'm talking about. That's the program.
But you got to look at it. It's not even a programming. They make up more percentage in the army. It's almost like they got more control of the army than they do of regular society.
But I'm saying, if society is against your race,
then it's just the army, really. Because I find even now, especially a lot of the top generals, especially the white ones that have come out and like truly, right from day one, spoken out against racism. Like, I ain't playing that shit, not in these ranks. And
how long ago was that?
Well, that's just recently within the past 2 years.
I was like, what? I wouldn't know.
I would say
Private Ryan.
That's post Trayvon Martin. So that's the progress that may have bumped it from 70% to 72%. Got that extra 2% off that. So the army is. That's what I say. I see a lot of black folk getting it in the army and doing very well in the army. A lot of not really expats. Other people from other nations joining the army in order to become citizens.
Deported.
Yeah, they getting deported.
Yeah, the dude in the army, his boy fought in 2 wars and still got deported.
Correct. And that's some of them. Even that's in a minority.
Donnell Jones Jr. said, not everybody gonna go to the army. Trust, it's a lot more real ones out there.
What you mean? Though you mean real? I put it like this. I would hope that more people would find their way without going to the army. But I understand that there's some real ones that's in the army. I know some partners that's in the army, and I know you can't get no realer than them. You know what I'm saying? I know they ain't a slave to the system by no means. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying that everybody in the army is brainwashed and none of that. No, everybody not like that. But at the end of the day, more than not, I feel like we have a fight here going on our own homeland. We don't need to be going nowhere and fighting nobody else. And other people overseas know that. They be like, why are y'all over here fighting us? Y'all need to be fighting with us. You know what I'm saying? So they understand, I feel like, better than us in some circumstances about the circumstance that we in. I even had a dude say he went to Egypt and people telling him, welcome home. They were like, they know. They know they stole our shit. You know what I'm saying? So I think we really have to
But still, doesn't that even point more towards, hey, the army's a good thing to be a part of?
No, if you gonna sell out if a fight break out, what good are you doing me if you gonna turn against the race when the whole fight break out anyway? You ain't doing me no good being on their side.
Oh, all right. You gotta take race out of it per se to join the army, even though
that's the problem. That's what they want you to do.
They
nullify your anger. They nullify your isolation of being black. That's why I say it's race versus country.
And that's the thing that is kind of is one of those logics that is strategic logics that's pushed into soldiers, really. is that hey, it's nation over the tribe. You have to get past that. Like it's nation over the tribe. Whatever group you're part of, like it's the nation
Right.
over that.
But I mean,
It's
is
beat
it,
in.
is it really? Because at the same time,
Is
I
it
know it's
really?
like that. I
I
know
mean,
it's like
how
that.
about this?
to-
How about
to-
this?
to
For
them.
your organization, how down do you, for the cause would you want the people of your organization to be?
I would hope that they
Very-
would be. Yeah, I
very-
hope
very
that they
well
would be.
down,
But
right?
you know,
Right,
I
so
make
I'm
it.
saying,
It ain't
so-
about the organization. It ain't about me. It's about the
It's
entire
about
black
the-
people.
Mm.
You know
So
what I'm saying?
again,
It's
the
bigger
nation
than me.
is bigger than the black people.
Right. I mean,
It's
with
about
army,
the nation, which is supposed to be a
not if the nation is
A
subduing
unite
you. If not if the
of
nation is
different
subduing
tribes.
you.
true.
I mean,
But like I said, you ran through the numbers.
right.
There's more black people in the military, percentage wise, make up a higher percentage in the military than in regular society.
I mean, if the trend continues.
Yeah, hell yeah, it's going to
I mean,
continue.
and it's just
you
that
gotta look at the
specific,
question.
and just that
Well,
specific
why-
age group, not
why
totally.
would a black man or woman even join the army?
I mean,
it
they
goes
made
back
it
to that
seem
question.
they made it seem attractive. You know, you think about the benefits.
Hey man, some of them commercials were dope.
Well,
Like maybe we want to join. Try 3 times. Like,
It's more. I think it's more. We the ones that push each other into the army.
Nah, man. There's that one. There's that thing. Because you know.
But I'm saying you
done
wouldn't
with your
think
topic?
it's. But I'm
What time is
saying,
it?
huh? Oh yeah. But other than that, I mean, we can go on that forever. But like I say, my solution is principles. I take my principles over
it?
anything else.
Morals over everything.
Yeah, for sure.
And that is the reason why they would say you would get kicked out of the army,
I would
or
never
they would
I would never
punish
get
you
in.
within the army, or you wouldn't get in. Like they have no problems rejecting or kicking you out. Period. Because they
wouldn't
want a
have to. I
certain
would
type,
kick myself out.
and this to be a part of the winning team.
Yeah, they.
So I
I'm
mean,
not-
and again, what are you gonna do about it? You ain't gonna go up against some big guns.
what you talking about?
But man, the USA got big guns.
I don't care about
Big
no
guns, son. I know you with them big guns. You don't care about guns? Psh,
Talking
crazy.
to the wrong person. Full regalia broke out. You'll see me like Terminator out there, John Connors, boy. Crazy.
You sure?
They'll be trying to go back and eliminate my mama. God damn. You're crazy.
All right.
All right,
So
what you got?
So we done with that?
Yeah, we'll get to
'Cause
the
I'm
next
thinking
topic.
the
is
next
money,
topic,
everything.
'cause-
Go ahead.
When you think about it, what would make, in my mind, me go to the army? A lot of my cousins, aunts, uncles, grandparents, whatever, go to the army is essentially been because of money. That's what I find. Like, if money wasn't involved, would any of y'all even think about the army? I know you're like, hey, even with the money involved,
I ain't
I
thinking
ain't
about it.
gone.
No.
But if you take money out of the equation for everybody else that did join the army, would that be the same? Like, what would that percentage be if you take money out of the equation? You think
I think it will be low.
hella low or just slightly low?
Nah, it'll be extra low. I think,
Extra low.
especially if they can't offer the benefits. I think the benefits is
The
the
benefits is
key.
thing because you need that, right? You're for a soldier, you're well taken care of as a quote unquote citizen.
I mean, with black people, I feel like it's more the schooling that's attractive more than like benefits of anything else.
I mean, you get
think
schooling and you don't have to pay a down payment on the
disability.
house.
Yeah, I did
Disability,
put that on
like-
there. Your housing and stuff like that.
That's dope. Just off those 2 things, the GI Bill and not having to put the down payment on the house. Man, you made that's American living. That's the American dream right there, right? And that takes money. So you talking about the number one thing I find is going back to the question: is money everything? Because in everyday society, you need it, right?
Right.
Because they done put a cost on everything you need in your life. But in the past few weeks, I've kind of heard a few people talk about it ain't always about money. Money ain't everything. And it confused me.
That's either somebody that got it or
Somebody that got it, even when you got it,
Really
you would
don't.
know even more like it is an absolute need.
you know,
And you're not going to want to let go of it too easily, right? So pretty much we're in agreement on that. Money is everything. I'll bring it up like this. What about in family, though?
it's
In the baby daddy situations, right? He ain't making much, but he's trying to take care of his kids, but he get punished because he ain't got much money.
I mean, I think a lot of people always, all those sayings and about money and wealth not being good. I feel like that was made up by the rich, so the people wouldn't try to strive for riches. I mean, if you go look even at the Bible, it says a rich man is he liable to get in the I can't remember the scripture.
Yeah, rich man is it's easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than it is for a rich man to get into heaven. That's one of the things that kind of try to hold me back. Like, you know what? Don't be humble. Don't strive for no riches. Like, that's not the goal right here.
That's
and
then
then
the devil.
As soon as you take a few steps down that road of not going for the money, America slaps you in the face like, hey, you gonna need some dough. Or
ASAP.
or be hella either stressed out or dead or something, right? So money is everything. But when it comes to kids, why is it that, a lot of black men feel as if money ain't everything? As long as I put in that love, as long as I got that, if I give my son just that love, that should be it.
I think they only say that because you ain't got the money. People only say that. I say it ain't no in between. When people say it ain't about the money, either you extra rich or you extra fucking poor. I ain't no in between. The in between man is trying to get more and trying not to get less. So I think when somebody say it ain't about the money, it's because you ain't got none or you got too damn much.
You got too damn much. So all right. So we're in agreement on that. Any black man out there that's complaining about, my baby mama taking my whole check to pay, do whatever she has to do to take care of the kids. What? Stop complaining?
No, I mean,
stop complaining because that's what's supposed to happen. You ain't got kids yet.
No, I can't really say that, but I'm gonna say it like this. I got uncles,
but money is everything.
Cousins, but I even my uncles, they tell me all the time. When it comes to the child support, even they had their own kid, the government still trying to take it anyway. He been having his kid for over a certain amount of time already.
He would have custody,
but they still want to take child support
for that. Yeah. I mean, okay, there is some instances in which there's some errors, but by and large,
I'm sure it's a lot of them.
But by and large, no, I know quite a few fellas that they ain't do the right things, and baby mom was like, "Hey, you need to take care of some shit," so they started taking their shit, and now they upset. But I had a conversation with another person. I won't say no names, about how whenever the baby mama wouldn't allow the baby father to come around the kids because he didn't have no money, and how that would affect the kids. So now it's like, all right, money is everything.
Yeah.
But when it comes to family, you can go without it, focus more on love.
I disagree.
You disagree?
I disagree. Because I think it's always going to be that one person that's bringing it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying they can't go off love. But when it comes to
can't pay bills with love. Ain't there a song like that?
Man, I put it like this. One of the number one causes of divorces is money.
That is exactly.
So you can talk that love talk if you want to, but when you broke, you like, hey, you better get on it. People seen, what was the new movie that just came out? Acrimony.
I ain't see it yet.
So, bro.
No, you can do the sports.
Is money everything?
Yeah.
Oh, you need to go look at it because basically what she did, she gave this man 18 years. 18 years, he didn't have a job. He was doing nothing but working on his idea. What? She was bankrolling everything.
Sugar mama.
She got mad, dumped him. Soon as she dumped him, this boy went, another lady seen a diamond in the rough and like, I'm gonna help you. Help this man. This boy ended up getting, I don't know how many millions. And end up giving her 10 million, paid off her mama house that they end up losing because of him. Paid off her house, and she still couldn't accept it. So it got to the point like if she would have just gave him that little bit more time, then he would have got to it. But I say at the end of the day, 18 years is a long time. And I feel like if you let somebody go without having a job for over 5 years, then that's your fault. You know what I'm saying? At some point in time, you got to take some self-responsibility. And if you let somebody go without a job for 10 plus years, a little bit of that is on you. You know what I'm saying? After 1-2 years, I'm gonna be looking at them crazy like.
That's a crazy situation though. Because think about that. Like I believe most likely, in order for him to get him to do what he needed to do, just for that to get to that 90% to that 100%, she had to kick him out. What have you? Like there's a lot of instances like being in the same thing won't get you all the way there until drastic happens to get you over.
If you look at the movie, it wasn't even about that. It was just about timing. Somebody that he knew, The lady that was stopping, it was a white lady that was the receptionist of the office, and she would never let him in. Matter of fact, they was trying to file a restraining order on him so he can never come to the office and try to pitch his idea to this big company. So he used to go there every day. They never would see him. And so one time he seen a girl that worked, and he like, oh, you in there now? Go look me up. And she finally did start watching his videos, and she got him a meeting. And he ended up getting paid. So it was like, it was about timing. It wasn't about working on water.
The moral of the story is timing.
Yeah.
And you gotta wait for that. So you're thinking if she'd have waited a little bit longer.
Well, she should have got on his ass right after.
Paid him back.
You got to be doing that as well as works. I mean, even the Bible say faith without works is dead.
I'm pretty sure he's putting
praying
in
all
work
day.
in other ways.
He wasn't. He was at home all day. She literally got a settlement from her parents, and that's how she had a whole bunch of money and fund them, had the house all these years, and she was working full-time jobs.
That's pretty impressive. There ain't too many. That got to be a movie. So that's a fairy tale right there. It got me thinking like,
I'm sure it's some realness,
Well, that
realness to it.
kinda
Not the
women like
million
that.
part, but
Right.
not the 7 pounds part.
so I'm guessing, well, for as long as the money's coming in, money ain't everything for her. She wasn't worried about it, you know. Obviously, okay, that's cool. But in terms of getting back to the taking care of your kids situation, it can't be all about love.
Yeah, I mean, what you mean? Taking
It
care of
can
your kids? It should be about love. Taking care of your kids. That should be all about love. But what I'm saying is that wouldn't keep a relationship going. Not love.
Not just love.
Not for everybody. Some people, special people, they can. But
So you can't have no broke love, no struggle love.
it's hard to think clearly when you're struggling. I mean, that's serious, real talk. You can talk everything that you want to talk. And I talk all the time. I tell my wife, they got John Gray got a stuff out, and he go out there, and the lady's struggling. She got 4 grandkids, and she got to take care of them. And instead of him, he giving her money, he gave her a day at the spa. I say, that's nice, but I bet $100,000 would have went a lot further. You know what I'm saying? So you can say, hey, this stuff it ain't about money, but how much would that money lighten your load? On the rich people that say that got the money, or so much people that's so broke you ain't got no hope. So you hopeless.
Hopeless. Broken,
So,
hopeless.
I think it's a slippery slope.
So money,
It is.
officially,
Yeah.
is everything.
In some type of value.
At some type of value, because you can even put it to where love is actually a currency. But you can't have just love with no actual currency, especially in America. So we can say officially, like, I don't think black folks should ever say money, it ain't all about money. Money ain't everything. Because wherever you are, I'm pretty sure it is. Because money, what? Crane, cash roll, everything around me. I hate to use hip hop, but the hip hop's like the truest shit out here right now. Right?
I
Like
mean,
ever. Like cash really does rule everything around you. So no more talk about money ain't everything. Love has to be there. Yeah, probably money shouldn't be alone. It has to be there by default, but it shouldn't be alone. There should be some love,
Yeah.
right?
I mean,
but
love helps.
money, to me, is everything.
I
You
feel
can't
like
come with like relationship. You can't do anything. You can't raise a kid on just love and no money.
I think love gives you longevity.
All right,
But
let's see if
money
we got
gives you
some-
that gratification.
Let's see if we got some comments here. I'm gonna see what we got. I didn't came off the everything. See people saying nah.
You don't
There
think
was
it's
a-
everything?
Poverty causes people to leverage morality. That is true. So if you
Right.
poor with no principles, well, money can't corrupt you. That is true.
For
That's
sure.
where the love is gonna come in. But
But maybe that's a circumstance of your situation. You know, if you never was in that struggling status, I think that's how. Don't get me wrong. I do the history. I think that's how some of the white people that did all the conquering back in the day. That's how they got so mean. They were in a state of submission for so long to the point they got tired and like we would never be this way again.
Correct.
And that's when you get your brutal wars. You know, say hey, it's for Christianity or the Bible, or we doing this
that
and
is
religious
true.
wars.
Well,
But you know,
well, in the pursuit of money, nobody told your ass to pursue it in that path. So that's where the decisions come in. That you can't blame it on the money because you chose that wrong way to go about it.
but if somebody see that
'Cause you
blood
can't
is the
go
only way
without
out, you got to think about
That
it.
is true. And
Power
that's
concedes nothing without
without a demand.
exactly.
So
So you can say all this time like, oh, it's a peaceful way to do it,
You
but you can be out there and marching all you want. But if they didn't think that it was something behind the marching, then until the violence starts, then sometimes you don't really get a answer. So don't get me wrong. I'm sure you can say
You
like,
can talk about the violence and all that.
all right.
He who has the more cash can get more weapons to physically oppress you.
Right.
That's why the money is so important. Matter of fact, let's kind of segue into the next topic, man. Y'all see the the social events. What's happening in Gaza,
Yeah.
right?
About the
Now is that
Jerusalem.
money?
Yeah, that's
Would
definitely
money
money.
would money solve that situation? Seems to be money solves a lot of
I mean,
things.
it don't want not money. I ain't gonna say money would solve the situation, but money got them in the situation that they in. Meaning Israel had the money, so they were able to get what they want out of the situation, which is the U.S. putting the embassy in Jerusalem and taking over all their whole land.
At the same time, restricting
Yeah,
the economy of another group of people.
Right.
So you're restricting their money, choking their money, therefore they can't survive, therefore couldn't hold up any true battle against you.
For
Right?
sure.
So it, again, is
Without
money
help.
everything? Because you need it to even defend yourself and to survive. And some people still say, nah, it's not about everything because it'll corrupt. Yes, it will corrupt.
Yeah, it's gonna be
But
bad,
if your
man.
heart stayed true, it will be a tool for you. Because it's still, you can't not go for it.
Right. So that's not an option.
It's not an option, right? Yes, your heart should stay true, and money will corrupt most people, but you got to get it. That's period.
Right.
Especially as black people, especially as any oppressed person, because as we can see today, Gaza, they're not really black, but still they're in the same Negro position. Can't do a damn thing about it. Old lady threw a rock, caught a bullet.
I seen somebody. Did you see somebody throwing a slingshot and they shot him in the leg?
Yeah.
His leg looked like it immediately was broke.
They killed a crippled
He
man
was
with a rock
slinging it,
slingshot.
and they just hit that boy in the leg. All you heard was ah! He dropped the hell out that sling. But I was, it was more along the lines, like you say, they out there murdering people for
Straight up.
walking too close.
For walking too close. That's to let you know I got the dollars. Because he said money get big guns.
Yeah.
Right,
And,
that's
and they defending their actions.
And they defended right?
That's
Right.
nice.
Hey, you threw a rock at me, I could return fire. Like it is what it is because I have to survive too.
Yeah. I mean, but at the same time, see, that's not a real argument for them because 0 Israelis have been hurt in this conflict.
It don't matter.
Like 0. And if they have been hurt, it's been by their own hands. Training accident.
Pretty much. I think this
So-
is kind of the first time I saw they actually use drones. They dropped pepper spray with drones this time.
They start using like kites and stuff to fly with Molotov cocktails over
Serious?
the wall. I thought that was pretty genius.
Man, I just like to put it
fizzle
on
out.
record. I stand with Gaza. This is Israel, I find, has taken a bully tactic and a very big bully position, especially now.
So I asked you this. I seen somebody ask somebody else this on it. They said, "Do you think that Israel have a right to exist?"
Yeah, everybody and everything has the right to exist.
There.
But anywhere on this planet. Yeah, I know it does cause a conflict in which the conflict could have been dealt a whole lot better than it was whenever they, let's say, redistrict the Middle East and put Israel over there where it's at.
Exactly.
Right? Causing a conflict.
I'm glad you said that. So again, do they have the right to be there,
Yeah.
even though they was placed there?
Even though they placed here, they
Not
deserve
their
some
land.
spot. Correct. It's not that big. 2, stop encroaching on other people's land.
Oh,
Learn
no,
how
it's
to
not
live
that-
with your
it's not that
neighbor.
big at all.
2, their neighboring is Islam. Now, in Islam,
So that's who they restrict.
right? Matter of fact, now we're on Islam. Ramadan Mubarak, because Ramadan starts now, and talking about it, teaches peace. Like you should be peaceful with your neighbors.
Is that what's Q? Is he on there right?
Yeah, he started. He starts now.
I'm about
Right,
to
right, right.
I ain't respond to my text.
Yeah.
You heard?
Oh
that?
yeah. Q, yeah. If you know, he's on retirement right now. He'll be out of retirement in a month.
Golly, a month.
Yeah, a month.
I need stuff done now.
He's straight up vacation. That's on
I already know.
ghost. I gotta work through. And in Islam, especially during Ramadan, it's a peace. It's supposed to be about peace, right? So yeah, they have the right to exist, and that's per the rules of their neighbor. Now it was some secular groups that pretty much caused the invasion back when Israel was put there back in that day. A lot of the ignorance right now can be educated out, and that's what I think should happen.
What you mean?
The tit for tat.
I mean, is it really a tit for tat?
It is
Or
really,
is it just a tit for tit?
it's
Because
literally
what is
tit for tat going way back since they disrupted the Ottoman Empire. I shit you not. It's really that simple. Once you go
they
back
always say
to
you'll
all
never have
those
peace
little
in a
wars,
stolen land.
that is true, but all the land is stolen. Saudi Arabia,
That's why they never gonna be no peace.
it goes back to the human part. Like there will never be because humans, because if money is everything, and it was created by humans, but we don't like it. That sounds like a bad thing. It kind of sounds bad. Money can't be everything, and nobody wants to accept it because it pretty much sounds bad. It does, but it is the way because humans made it that way, and that's the messed up situation.
I mean, I think that no matter what we count it as money or currency, you know, I think it always gonna have susceptible to greed. But I ask you this, kind of when we talking about money, do you think that Korea should give up their nukes? I mean, or give up their exploration of nuclear weapons?
The U.S. Army, again, it got big guns, big guns. Do you feel safe without a gun? No matter how big or small, do you feel safe without a gun?
I mean, I
That
do.
goes-
Me
that's
personally,
better.
yeah, because
Like,
I don't
matter
like
of
I carry a gun, so
Somebody
Obviously,
in your
I do.
neighborhood walking down up and down the street, big guns. Would you want a gun too?
yeah, of course.
Right. Or even more so, would you want them to like, put that gun away or destroy it or, just not have it at all? You would like to at least,
Right.
try to gain control of it.
You
So
know,
that's
answer the
exactly.
question.
But
Do you
disarm?
think? Do you think? If
No,
you
wait.
in North Korea, would you disarm?
If I was North Korea, no, because I see America with big guns. I need
Yeah.
guns. Now, if you America put your big guns down, then I'll put my aspirations to make big guns down. But it's like a lot of people, especially what America became was after World War II, the dominant superpower, like
Right.
that, the one with the biggest gun. Like we did drop the biggest bomb, 2 of them.
Hiroshima.
Right? 2 of them on our adversaries. That's the biggest guns. And since then, right? You get the power. It was like in Juice. Who got the juice? Right? Whoever had the gun got the juice.
So the point is, if you were one of these
If you wanted
countries,
to,
you would
got
never. You would never.
To put it back to
I'm
Q
right.
in Juice, right? You
Right.
got to get the gun from Juice, and you got to get your own gun. There's the 2 things you got to do: disarm and arm yourself.
Oh, I agree.
So if that's Korea, Russia, they even the Middle
Iran.
East, like they have to, because of the bullshit that the U.S. been doing, they have to arm themselves and figure out how to disarm the U.S., which is kind of you see the secular uprising to go against the
I
U.S. what have
mean,
you.
one thing I would see that's crazy is we want to go do all these sanctions and we want to go into all these countries and inspect their stuff, but we wouldn't allow nobody to
Exactly.
inspect shit over here.
That's bully
Hey,
tactic.
you gonna
Like,
come over here and inspect our what?
You can do
Matter of
that.
fact, you want to inspect the ones that we tell you about that we developed 100 years ago. But we would never allow nobody
You
to
got-
come over here and inspect any of our most secret spots.
when you got big
Like,
guns, you can do that.
crazy.
So what I'm saying,
I
what you
guess
lift, what
so.
you lifting weights for?
For a regular nigga that's gonna try to run up on me.
It's a big gun. Exactly. It goes back down to the simple principles. Like humans ain't shit, so you got to protect yourself. And in protecting yourself, you kind of got to encroach on other people's freedoms in terms of your own safety. And that goes down to personal, tribal, nation, global.
So you saying we have to basically go be taking over and encroaching on these other countries in order to
I'm saying
keep ourselves safe.
That seems to be the human way. That seems to be the modern human nature. At this moment.
But
this moment.
See, but I think that's another false perception. Kind of when we come to things like politics, we feel like that's the way it got to be done because that's the way it's been done.
No,
all the time.
it does not have to be that way.
But you
This
are
is-
but you are
This
taking
is
in
the-
consideration that
this is
that's how it's
realism.
gonna go.
This is realism. This is
See,
how it's going today.
See, that's
if
how
you
we start
want to change
confusing
it,
realism with what we think or what we feel
no,
that
because
will be there.
you have to separate realism from idealism. Yes, you could work towards ideal, but ideal is not real. Real is what is today and how it's operating today. And you have to operate within that just to even change it. So you got to start there. Deal with that to like now. That's the way it is. Work within that. Then you can change it.
Not, I mean, to
You
a
can't
degree.
come in
If I was
directly
president
with a
today,
change.
if I was, yeah, I could. If I
So
go
you're
in
saying-
and I'm president today, one thing I would not have to do, I do not have to do drone strikes. I do not have to do a drone strike that only 30 or 40%
You got to
accurate.
get to the presidency first. See what I'm saying?
But I
The
understand
tactics
it, but
to
I'm
get
saying,
there
I would never even try. I don't even want to
was
do
defeats the
politics
whole
at
purpose.
all.
So until then, drone bombs will continue to
But
go
I'm saying,
off.
if you were, it's as easy as that. You don't. It's not like, oh, you have to go through any extra hoops to stop things like that. Those are things you can be a president. Not like I want that shit to stop.
Again, the point you would have to get there to
But
do
I'm saying,
that.
if you are there,
There's no
you are
if. There's a
there.
whole bunch of steps. There's a whole lot of operating within the real to get there, just to even make the decision to do the ideal.
I-
You're skipping the whole
I understand.
wheel.
I understand what you're saying. Like you wouldn't get the operating in that form.
Exactly.
I get that.
All right.
What I'm just
All right.
saying.
But
once
you get there,
if
yeah,
I was
then
to
you
say,
can implement
if I want to
ideals.
implement it, dude, I'm
Then
not
you can
gonna
do it.
that.
Then so you see how the equation works, right?
Right.
You got
But
to
I'm
go
saying
through
it
it.
can
So
be done.
today, yeah, it can be done, but
But
you're gonna
is
have
the
to
person gonna do
operate
it?
within today, which is humans. One, money's everything.
Right.
Two, humans are disgusting beings.
I mean,
And if you do really want to enact change, what have you, you're going to have to operate within that. I guess hold within your morals, stay true to your morals. Hopefully, knock on wood for most bros.
ain't nothing is real wood.
That's just shit real.
I mean, I just put like this, somebody like me or us. I don't feel like we will make it there because I think you have to give up so much of yourself to get there. And that's why I feel like happened to Obama. You gave up so much of yourself to get there. I believe it comes to a certain point where you probably couldn't do a lot.
That's definitely a fine line. I found that definitely true. You couldn't do everything you wanted. You got to operate within the real to even get there.
To a certain degree, but like I say, when it comes to releasing people, like jail, he didn't need nobody help to do that. That was something he signed in and he did.
If he did it too early, it would cause an alarm in which a lot of congressmen, especially those across
he
the
did that-
aisle, to shut down and not approve of some other bills that did go
I put
through.
it like this.
So it's all about strategy.
If he did it in his second term, at the beginning of his second term, what bills that didn't get through that wouldn't have got through? And
I
which
don't-
ones that would have been stopped?
I don't remember all the details. There's a whole bunch of bills.
But I'm saying, if you
But
can't think of it off the top of your head, it
I
wouldn't
understand the
have
strategy of not doing it first and waiting later, either at the beginning or mid second term,
I'm
or
just
like
saying
he
he could've
did
did it sooner.
at the end of the
I don't care when he
second
did it.
term.
I'm always say he could have did it sooner. Maybe not the first term, but the second term,
Big bro,
I would have been
big
a
bro.
fool with it because I'm in there.
But you can't, because even if you did that, you kind of still ruin it for the next black man coming in there. So you can't just go.
So, when
you can't go super ignorant in
First
the
of
White
all,
House, even though you know
Do
you're
you
going
think
out.
we're gonna have a black president in the next 4 elections?
4 elections, 2024, I for sure.
Who? Better not say Kanye West.
Cut it smooth.
I'm a protester to get him. First of all, I don't even think he could even run no more than being on
what Kanye?
on medication and stuff like that. I think he knocked himself out the running doing that.
No, I mean, just off the fact in which, even if he came to run, I love Kanye. I love his music. He's an artist. Not to say that an artist can't be president, but
Can you?
Kanye, he loses my vote because Kanye could not answer the question when Sway asked how. Or what, Kanye said, how Sway? Like, why are you asking? You should know. That's what a president is going to do. A president has to know the hows,
He wouldn't run
and
for
he
president
can't.
again.
He does not know the hows and still trying to get the hows.
First of all,
Therefore,
you don't
you
know
lose
the
my
history.
vote.
I don't want a black man that in there that don't know the history of slavery. For
I mean,
one,
the same
or
thing
the
with
history of
Trump,
black
too.
people in
Like,
America. I don't
don't
want
know
you out of you doing us a disservice if you going in the White House not knowing the problems that plague black people at the beginning. You paying everybody a
Yeah,
disservice.
correct. Because you would need to know that in order to know how to fix America.
Exactly. You
Right?
can't go there trying to help black America if you don't know the problems that plagued us in the past to before.
Mm-hmm.
That's like the blind leading the blind. You gonna lead us into some of the same pitfalls and fall for some of the same foolery that a lot of our ancestors fell for that we wouldn't do it. Even like they said, even Martin Luther King said we were integrating into a burning building. You know, so at the same time, you got to know, you know, he like, I did some good, but it wasn't enough. And I did some good, but that it didn't go as far as I needed it or we needed it to go to really affect change. And we know that anything where America got to give money or rectify anything with actual dollars, it's a problem. So, you know, at the end of the day, we got to know, like you said, is money everything? Yes, everything, because it ain't giving up nothing without a demand.
Obama was a mulligan.
A mulligan.
Shout out to everybody giving comments, what have you. All the fam, what up? Love y'all.
This ain't shout out time.
It is shout out time. Like I said, Kanye mentally weak. That's why he couldn't be president. I want to say he's mentally strong, but he ain't got the ideas. He can't solve the problem. You have to. The next president
mentally strong.
Mentally strong.
Being able to withstand some criticism is not mentally strong.
No. Being able to
stand on your own ideas.
Take on your own ideas, take on your own ambition, and follow through with it and be able to control that yourself. Like, that's mentally strong. Everything that Kanye West brand has done under the leadership of Kanye, that's brilliant. That's strong-minded. But when it comes to music, right? Because one, he came in under Jay. Like, the blueprint was already set. He just had to walk through the steps and not fuck up. Now, in terms of him being able to transgress past rhyming and rap into other industries like fashion, like he wanted to do,
right?
And he coming up with how, when you already have all the resources for the people that pretty much know how. You have all the resources, but you don't know. That's a problem. Because now here it is, you want to be president. You don't know how to do that. There's so much about the nation, not even just black people, the whole nation, that you don't know how. Because the president position, by far, is an idea and creator's position. You're going to have to figure out the hows. And if you don't have the hows, you can't be president.
I mean, I put it like this. I don't even think he know how to help some of the black people that was in his own state that he grew up in, let alone
Very
help
true.
the national black people.
Very true.
You know, everybody.
But this ain't crap on Kanye time.
I mean,
again, I love Kanye, but I couldn't do Kanye.
But I've never been a Kanye
because of the
fan
how.
before this.
Like, you have to know the how. Now, I know either 2020 or the 2024 president will for sure have the hows to fix not only Black America, because if you could fix Black America, you can fix all of America, right?
What black person that would run even in 2024 that we would know now?
I just told you, man.
No.
No. Who?
No, I'm asking. No, I don't really know that. I wouldn't vote for Cory Booker.
Cory Booker?
No.
I got somebody doper.
Bernie Sanders.
Cut a smooth. Sharon Cut a Smooth EP Digital.
Go ahead, my brother, please. I will vote for you.
See, you vote?
Yeah. I got you.
All right.
Man, if I know where you live.
You gonna hold me down. I'll disappear on you so fucking
wish.
fast.
You think you would be able to disappear.
He said, what you know that we don't know?
What I know that y'all don't know? A whole lot. A whole lot.
Sure, you assassinated. You trying to go up
wait.
there.
Nah.
You need some security forces, my son.
What do I know?
They'll pull up all this stuff, and just for me talking about the army, I'm out.
How to set up systems to where every citizen can pretty much earn the money they need, because money is everything. And being that I know the equation that balances everything about the American economic system, and every citizen can be included in that. Like, that's what you call balancing the budget. So he's like, yeah, I know that. And I don't think a lot of people do, and the ones that do know it refuse to do that because, they'll make less, or they literally just don't feel like it. So,
I mean, I think the only reason why I say it'll be hard to set up a system like that, because when you come to capitalism, first of all, it's not set up for everybody to win. Two,
capitalism is set up, the more the merrier. Everybody can win.
But it would depend too much on people doing the right thing. And I don't think people will.
But that's where the money comes in. Because, like, I hate to put it blunt, money controls people. That's how, bad morals can corrupt,
But
and money can corrupt a
when
man.
when black people get that high and up the money, I'm sorry, they kind of be disconnected on what I feel like the regular black person needs and how to help them. And I just think they don't know. And I think that's why it comes to them just giving big lump sums of money to organizations or schools, even though that's still not doing us no good anyway. Cause say she gave
It's
what
I mean, yeah.
she
yeah,
gave
false to the
Beyonce
house.
gave what 400,000 to HBCUs, but I think it only equated to what like $25,000 a school or something like that.
Every little bit helps.
I'm for sure, but at the same time, we could have used that 400,000 and started an incubator in the city. How much further would that go?
Well, that's what
I'm gonna say that every week. Beyonce and them made.
What's the term? Peanuts for acorns? What's that? Some is just trading a little bit for a little bit. Like there's this marginal difference.
You think
There's no guarantee.
her giving the
that-
$400,000 to a college is peanuts? The peanuts for starting a $400,000 incubator? You
can
think
either
that's normal? I mean, you think
invest
that's
invest in a person who will go on themselves to make that money and possibly start a business, or invest in a startup that's going to go in and employ people and possibly other. This is same.
I'm
This is
investing.
same.
No, I'm
This is
investing. I'm investing in a system
Right.
to do multiple people. I'm not just doing. I'm not saying an incubator to incubate one person. I'm saying you take this $400,000, and start an incubator to incubate many of businesses. You take that $400,000, get a place, find a business expert
It's
that
still-
used to going through this
It's still-
things and identifying these
It's
businesses.
still equal to me. It's
So
either
what good? But I can see this good. What good can you see of it coming out of the colleges?
an what?
They,
No good come out of the
That
education.
$25,000 ain't do nothing
Educate-
for PV. That's one student tuition for 1 year.
Exactly. That's one student's tuition, right? Which is equal to one person's part of
I can start
salary.
many of businesses with this 400,000 starting an incubator, and
you
you
can
can
send-
one student for one semester that might not even
Wait,
graduate.
wait. That's $125,000. You said there's $400,000. Don't try to.
No, they split it up in different
Okay,
colleges.
so that was a
but
whole
let's
bunch
go
of
to that one
colleges and a
college.
whole bunch of students. So you got what's that? 25,000. That's 16 students. Tuition paid.
But it's not
this
going
year
to a student. I just
versus
gave that as a scenario. It's going to the school.
Hypothetically, them shits is equal to me.
Even that's
I'm
still,
sorry.
one semester at school versus starting a business incubator is not equal. Because they can do many people.
We got another comment.
What we got?
Black people with power and real money are either selfish or scared, and that's why we can't really take over. They scared to be the one to risk it all.
I agree.
And that is very true. It is
I see it all the time.
to save black people, which to save America is a very, very selfless thing to do. And most people, from what I've seen, black successful people, do become selfish. Very selfish. Because it's the money, money, money. You never want to go back to poverty.
Right.
But the next black president will have to, and I mean absolutely have to, be a I don't care about riches type of person. Like you need it. You know the specific tool for money, but you will have to be very selfless with that money. So it's like there's a personality type that's needed when you start defining the next black president.
You're right. And you remember we had this conversation before. We talked about somebody being able to, what was we talking about? You know, no matter how much money they said, you said that it's always going to be roadblocks or somebody not letting them be able to do something. Remember? You said no matter how much money somebody have, you know, it'll be like a roadblock or somebody stopping them. And I want to ask you this. If you think if I had $1 billion, do you think I would let anybody tell me to be like, oh, no, Lord, you can't do that because you black? You think that would be, you think I would have the fear to do anything?
It's not even about the fear. When
No.
you have the funds to do so, you give orders.
But that's what I'm talking about. But I'm saying, like we talk about stuff. I talk about Bill Cosby. Let's talk about him trying to buy NBC. You get all this stuff and rack up all this money to buy this station. Why would you buy this station?
Stupid.
You can do your own if you got that much
like,
money.
You don't have to buy NBC.
Exactly.
Like it's like
that's how I feel.
because they're never going to sell. You kill it. You I won't smoke it out. What have you? Siphon it off. Who knows? But don't try to take over it.
I mean,
Like there's no point. But we're getting off topic. But again, like in the pursuit of money, right? It's not the money that's at fault when the man goes astray. It is that man.
For sure.
Right? You can't blame the money. It is that man. So it's still all about the money.
Right.
It's just that man fucking up them decisions.
Decisions.
Straight up.
I mean, I completely agree when it comes to that. I mean, a lot of people say, you know, money ain't everything, and more money brings more problems. But hey, money solves a lot of problems. I'd rather go through those problems with money than without it.
Money brings a whole lot more life, and a whole lot more life
Responsibility
becomes responsibility, and those are perceived as problems, yeah. But that's what you do. Like, it was a problem to walk, and you got past that. And it was a problem to learn math, and you got past that. And it was a problem to do reading and everything else in school, plus more. Like, every day for the rest of your life is going to be a problem, right? So you just got to get past that. I think I saw a feed on that earlier today. Like, that's it, right?
for real.
All right. So, not to beat a dead horse, what's the next thing?
All right, pretty much we got sports talk, current events.
Sportsman ain't here today, though.
I know we gonna have to.
Sportsman ain't here today.
Only thing that I want to talk about just a little bit of the Rockets. You know, I hate the boys lost. You know, but at the end of the day, we got one more. We got to win this one game at home, and then we gonna make it happen. What you got? We said we was gonna give it to What you got?
He don't know what to do.
Like I don't know what we got. Come on.
he freezing on camera.
Even on camera, yeah.
You need me to turn around on
Nah, I
you?
got it. Make sure I'm on this camera, man. I ain't have a mic, man. But yeah, man, sorry for the Rockets.
Wait, what's your name first? I don't know who you is.
Ronzo Piper, man, Ronzo Media, cameraman behind the scenes.
For sure,
You know.
for sure.
But yeah, sorry to, not really sorry. Kind of boasting about it with this 119 or 106 Rockets loss, man. But still kind of got home court advantage. They play tomorrow. But as for the live news, as of right now, Boston is ahead of the Cavaliers, 88-77. 10 minutes left in the fourth. So the Cavs may
10
have
minutes left.
10 minutes
They
left.
gotta overcome this. They need the win.
Cavs gonna win and Rockets lost.
Nah, Rockets gonna win.
I don't know if they're going to lose, but they lost their first game. I think they're going to come back with more.
If you gotta realize, they were just shooting. Warriors were shooting exceptionally well, over 60%, and then the Rockets just was missing their shots. And you gotta think about it, Harden still had 41.
Right.
If anybody else was on just a little bit, it would have been a different ball game. Because during those key shots, they would have put more pressure on Golden State. And if they would have, it's easier to hit a shot when you up by 25.
Right. Too much one-on-one ball, too, man. Not enough team ball, not enough assists. Harden was going off, though.
Yeah.
I give it to Harden the dog.
It's set up for him though, it's set up for that boy. He gonna hit his shots, but he hit his shots, so I can't be mad at him.
Yeah, everybody else got to hit their shot. But that's it for the sports, man. We'll follow up. But as of right now, again, it's still 88-77 with 9 minutes left in the fourth. Cavs Celtics. Whoever win that, man.
Cool.
Wait, who you rooting for anyway?
Who am I rooting? I'm a KD fan. I'm not a Golden State fan. I'm a KD
I don't want to
fan.
hear that. Get out of here, bro. Boy, say you. I'm a LeBron fan, but I still got to pick the Rockets.
All right, I got something to tell y'all.
What you got?
I heard a fan complaint
Complain.
that why we only talk about basketball and football. Is that the only thing that black people relegated to? Those two sports?
I mean, what sports do we really? I mean, I don't watch football, but I mean, basketball. I mean, I watch parts of it. You know what I'm saying? Depending on who playing. If LeBron playing or the Rockets playing, I can watch it.
So you're a fan of certain black people? You're
Yeah,
not really a
for
fan
sure.
of the sport?
I'm a fan. Yeah, I'm a fan of people. I'm not a fan of teams unless you my home team, or
Alright, so the
unless
home-
you the Texans.
Home team is just pretty much supporting your hometown,
Yeah.
less of the sport.
You want to start
Exactly.
hearing about the Astros? So.
I mean, I'm not a Texan supporter.
Oh yeah, you want to start baseball? Baseball season soon. Wait, now, right?
No.
I mean,
Baseball
I can't
season now.
even really say I'm a
Hockey?
I'm an Astro supporter because they did go to the White House. So shit, fuck them for a little while.
You better not say that. You're in Houston,
They not
man.
paying me.
Well, that is true. That is true. What you gotta care
I
for?
don't lose no revenue.
Be nice for what?
Them and the Texans. I don't, nothing against the Texans players. just the whole football organization in general.
But
I
do you
ain't messing
find
with y'all.
black kids are usually relegated to football and basketball? Like that's the only
That's
two
all they know.
sports.
That's really only sports at black schools.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't have funding for too much other than that. And if
Oh.
you do anything other than that, then
Back on the money thing, so it's because of money.
exactly.
Even
It all
though those
comes
two
back to
sports
that.
can get money, and there's a whole lot of other sports.
But they have to support
That you
all
got-
the other sports too. 'Cause
Correct.
They don't
So you
have
need
no
money.
turnout. So ain't nobody too much. Football have to support tennis because it ain't having no big nobody. Baseball have to be supported. So everything is being supported by football and basketball. Whole sports department.
The whole sports department is being supported by two sports.
At some schools suck at basketball, so all they got is football.
I guess when you put it like that, that might just be true. Like just off the ESPN channels, right? Most of its resources are coming from the
Like
top two, which is
Yeah.
baseball, football, basketball, and maybe a little bit of hockey.
And I
Those are
heard they
top
want to
four.
end Yates'
Oh,
baseball team.
Soccer. Soccer's a world sport, but
I think
because
it
it's
just
low
started
in
becoming
America.
big because we got the Dynamo and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But other than that, who really went to a soccer game before we got Dynamo?
I still ain't been to a soccer
Oh,
game.
me neither, because I just don't care.
But I like
In
soccer.
other countries, like basketball.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it's a world
it
sport.
is. It's like the football of overseas. All right. The next thing we got is the book recommendation. I came up with the book this time. The name of the book I have is How the Poor Can Save Capitalism: Rebuilding the Path to the Middle, by John Hope Bryant. And I really like this book because it definitely it went down the line. And some of the things that it said in there, it said men fail for 3 reasons: arrogance, pride, and greed. And it's saying it's always rooted in insecurity and fear. He said, if I don't have purpose in my life, I will make yours a living hell. And I feel like I want to say that because I feel like that's how marriages go. When we talk about money, like, hey, if the woman or the man don't have a purpose in their life and don't have a drive, then they like, we about to make your life a living hell.
Mhm.
And it's kind of like, oh, you're not spending time with me, we're not doing this, but I feel like this whole book was definitely good because it really set in place to let you know the trials and stuff that kind of black people went through during the whole time, to kind of reinforce entrepreneurism and really thinking on your own. So I really like the book. I won't go too much depth. It wasn't really long, so it's something that you can really go audio version in and be done in a couple days or a week. Just listen to it on your way to work. But it definitely was a good book. It's definitely something to go read. But other than that, nah, it was a good book.
I mean, what's the name of the book again?
It's called How the Poor Can Save Capitalism.
Okay, because I read that. I remember listening to it by John Hope Bryant.
Mhm.
And at one part, I mean, it was alright. I mean, I ain't gonna talk about my beef with John. But no,
What's your beef? I never heard of the beef.
No, the part of because he doesn't.
He doesn't
It's like a
give
lot.
details.
There's no details, right?
I
It's
already
just
know
it's just the
kinda
top
like-
of
kinda
it.
like
It's
the
like I
memo.
need. Like I got that. Like we're in that. Tell us the details so we know how to really fix it. Like all right, like the example you gave. If I don't have purpose, right, I'm gonna make your life a living hell. Well, if I'm already in the life with this person,
Right.
is there anything that I can get to either help myself deal with this hell, help them get their purpose? What am I supposed to do? So I just go ahead and cut this person off and bounce? Should I get a counselor? Like
I
this,
get
like
you.
he just talks about it without no
He's not
solution.
he's not trying to solve your problem. He's trying to help you think about your situation and you solve your way through. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that works in every circumstance
Hey,
or
here's
a lot of
problems.
them.
Here's problems
But
that
he
you
don't
already
give
know
details.
about.
Yeah.
That's already what you kind of get from it. Is like, you preach to the choir. I know these problems. Yes. I got this person. Maybe not the specific words. Like they gotta find purpose, but they haven't gotten their life together. How do I help me help my people?
I mean,
You trying to take credit for you helping the people by just talking about
it, but not really giving
Right.
the instrument detail. Because
It's not real help.
I was
Talking about the problem or mentioning the problem is not help.
I was disappointed in the memo. I was really waiting for that next shoe to drop. And I was like, drop, and it never dropped because I was just waiting for that answer, that solution. Don't get me wrong, I listened to the problems that we all know, and I'm like, I'm waiting on that solution. Like, what's the solution? I even reread it. Re-listened to it. I was like, man, maybe I missed it. Like, you know, maybe I just didn't hear it.
Nah,
And now that I come
both
talk
of-
to you, it's like,
yeah,
oh, I
exactly.
never was there.
And that would be
All
my
right.
beef. It's like, come on, man, you can't put yourself in. I guess he's trying to put himself in a leadership position,
Right.
but trying to play like, no, I'm not. I'm
What
just
I
bringing
give
it
an
up.
answer.
I'm just giving it. You know, I'm just giving a memo. Like I'm the solution guy, but no, not really. I'm just giving you. I'm just to letting you know the problems.
I think that one was worse, but I think this one here was a little bit better. Just kind of just talking about it. He did the same thing. He talked about a lot of the situations, but I think it gives people a little bit more background info on what the
And
situations were.
black folk already know what the problem is.
Not what the problem is, not just the problem, but background info on it. You know, maybe tell some people about history that they didn't know that was going on.
I guess
that
I
can kinda help you
I
through
may
some of
be
the things.
speaking from a privileged educational perspective.
'Cause you
A
know.
lot of people don't know. Okay, that's
Right.
cool. That's cool. But it serves no purpose to bring up the problem with no solution. Matter of fact,
Sure.
I am, because of engineering, my profession is kind of, you know, I'm not sure where I got this from.
Counterintuitive.
No, but like strategy, what have you, especially in your career, you're not really supposed to bring a problem to the table without a solution at first.
Got you.
You can't bring a whole book full of problems and just say, yeah, I'm here to let you know about the problems.
I mean, you have a lot of books like that. You know, maybe they don't feel like he's in the realm or feel like he can give it to somebody through the
Right.
book.
Oh, all right, that'll be my
He
my
one of
beef.
them old people.
That'd be the more
One of the old people like, I
Gen-
can't give it to you, young brother. You gotta go find it.
the
you
game
know,
is be
so-
sold, not told. Huh?
Yeah. Oh, hey, bro, let me write that down.
Man.
It's sold, not told. All right.
We paid for the damn book.
You feel like you got bamboozled out your money. You waiting for the memo and you never got it.
No, it's you say they old. It's a previous generation of always talking about the problem from a leadership position
Right.
of bringing solutions, but never the solutions. They always talk about it, but never any solutions.
Yeah.
Right? Not even trying. Like, where's the ideas? Like, where's the and it's all of them. It's not even just John, Hope, Brian, what have you. I had the same issue with Farrakhan, right?
I
Try to
haven't
rob.
read his book.
No, not even book, like the Million Man March. Riled everybody up. Right? Told everybody about the problems.
Right.
Historical facts and everything. Solutions. Did you follow?
I put like this. I think they got a whole nother movement that they got a whole large following that they can really do some good stuff for black people in general. But I don't know what are the problems that's plaguing the Nation of Islam type deal
It's black
that's
folk.
keeping
that's keeping them behind.
Yeah.
It is. I don't know if it's lack of ideas or what, but still, no
I
solutions.
know a lot of young people that participate. It can't be a lack of ideas. Is it I don't want to say a lack of willingness to participate because they don't feel like this is a winnable solution.
They got the bodies. They got only thing is missing just the ideas, maybe creativity. I guess I don't know, but either way, from the looks of it, ain't no solutions on that side, for sure. I haven't. You don't hear them. You hear a whole bunch of talking about.
I think we used
Not exact realism.
right. I mean,
solutions.
I think that's a lot when you start dealing with the politics of religion and doing a lot of stuff. I don't know what could be playing the back because it's just a lot. I know you speak the good words. I respect Farrakhan and them. 100%. But I would really like to sit down and really see like what are they doing outside of church. You know what I'm saying, or mosque or whatever they call it.
Correct.
As far as aiding the black people. And I know at one point in time, Gaddafi wanted to give, them and Farrakhan and them a large amount of money in order to affect change in this country.
Mm-hmm.
And, I think that's a lot of the reason why Gaddafi was taken out and making sure, he was overthrown.
I mean, it's part of a conspiracy theory, whether it's true or not. The world may never know. You can only trust.
I mean, one thing we do know that he was trying to back the world's
he was straight
currency
African.
by natural resources, and the United States couldn't have that because our money is not backed by anything.
Correct. He
but
was
our
trying to-
guns, our big guns,
Big
like
guns.
you say.
Correct.
So, I think when you got somebody that want to ruin the natural, because ain't no natural resources in Europe.
No, yeah, there are.
I'm talking not as much as Africa.
not as
like
much
that,
as Africa,
that
for
peas
sure.
in a pod that you got over there, that's gonna fuel. They can't fuel their own economy.
That is very
But
true.
but Africa can't eat off theirs. Well, they're not eating off theirs. But that's a whole conversation for another day. We can get about them and corruption all day. and how all other countries play a role in that.
Yeah.
But other than that, we got the black product.
Black product of the week.
What you got?
Universal Sankofa. I know you know them, right?
Yeah.
Man, I've been seeing their stuff. I like their stuff. You see them? Universal Sankofa. Universal
Hey, Houston
Sankofa.
too,
Yeah, they're in Houston. That's how I like it. Because they're popping up all over my timeline. I guess they coming out just came out with the summer collection, what have you. I'm trying to get to it now. But if you do Universal Sankofa,
Universal Sankofa. I'm gonna have to look that up. I haven't looked at their site in a while.
look like they revamped it. Look like they doing the correct marketing thing.
All right.
Man, it's freaking. Yeah, my T-Mobile connection ain't working good right now.
You said the wrong word. T-Mobile.
T-Mobile. That is correct.
Don't
Better
spell
get
that,
that
man.
AT&T Verizon.
Universal, regular way, Sankofa. You should be able to search it right on Facebook and get to them. They got some pretty dope stuff.
Cool. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna look them up. We'll put them on our website. Remember, BlackKingsPodcast.com. We put in everything we talk about. Myself, I put in stuff from last week, so we'll make sure that's updated. Any books that we talk about, y'all definitely go check them out. We put them on there, and we definitely link it to Audible audio books, so everybody will know how to get to them. Black events coming up. Our next meeting for Creative Group Economics is we meet every second Monday of the month. I believe that's like June. I don't want to tell you the wrong thing. If I had to guess, I believe it's like 11 or 12.
That will be June 2nd, Monday, June 11th.
June 11th.
June 11th,
June 11th.
2018.
Got our next one. I need to write it down here. Make sure y'all go download all our mobile apps, Creative Group Economics. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook, Black Kings Podcast. Definitely catch up with us. We got to keep our YouTube channel updated.
We do. All the updates are coming soon. Sorry, it takes a lot to download these videos from Facebook, chop them up, get them in the correct order with all the information, get them uploaded and to iTunes. But everything is coming soon, so stay tuned, please.
Cool. But other than that, if we
That's
don't have
it.
any closing remarks.
Go ahead.
We'll-
I'm not sure. Did I spell it for y'all? Universal,
I got it on there.
Sankofa. Bookmark it. All right, go check them out. They got some good stuff.
Cool. I appreciate
Black Kings
everybody.
Podcast. We out.
Sure.
It's
We
good
out
to see
there.
you once again. Till next week.
Peace.
Deuces.